one of the focal areas is and should be the management of biodiversity in both areas within national jurisdiction and areas beyond national jurisdiction. Within national jurisdiction, the ACHI targets have specified marine protected areas as one of the targets, and I think the discussions will center around how do we actually get to these targets. Many countries are making great strides in declaring marine protected areas, but we also need to talk about what technical support and what capacity building can we give to countries to make sure that the marine protected areas that they've established within national jurisdictions are well managed and are not only conserving biodiversity, but also contributing to the ecosystem services that are needed for development.
Ma'am, could you give us an example of a good policy which was implemented by a country where the marine ecosystem was conserved, especially talking about your area, your domain, where a positive, significant impact was brought about?
Probably the classic example is the Great Barrier Reef Marine Park in Australia, where the whole reef has been declared a park, and certain areas are set aside for no take, and in some cases no access. And those areas are probably making a significant contribution to maintaining the marine ecosystems and the services that go with it. But more recently, we're seeing some great potential happening in many parts of the world. For example, the Cook Islands have just declared a huge percentage of their EEZ as a marine protected area. It's a developing country, and it sees the value of the marine resources in terms of contributing to development. So we're very optimistic that given this trend of declaring some fairly large areas by the developing countries, that we'll head towards the target, and more importantly, hopefully those systems and those marine protected areas will contribute to development in, for example, in fisheries. Many of those areas are fish habitats that are important for food security, contribute to development of the tourism industry, which is really nice because not only does it help to develop the economy, but those jobs are often green jobs, and so we get employment benefits as well.
Ma'am, one thing that is cross-cutting is education and training in all these sectors. How do you see governments responding to this particular need of, need to educate and train, mostly the coastal communities?
There are two aspects to that. There's the capacity building and training for the professionals that need the understanding and the techniques and the technologies to be able to manage, but there's also the informal education of trying to increase the awareness of the values of ecosystems, coastal and marine ecosystems, and how they service the community in terms of food security, protection. Mangroves are great for storm protection and for adapting to climate change. So we need to take two tacks in raising awareness.